Whether you want a plasma gun for melting your enemies or a laser gun for turning them to ash, we got you covered with this video going over all the unique weapons in Fallout New Vegas. Welcome back to the Wasteland, everybody. Welcome back to Fallout, where today we're going to be covering both the pistols and the rifles of energy weapons that are unique and how to get them, as well as we're going to be ranking them as to how difficult I personally think they are to get. So let's start off our list with the very first weapon, just go right down the list. First up, we actually have a two-way tie between the Alien Blaster and the unique Gauss rifle, the YCS 186. Main reason why these are tied together is because they're actually in the same location, but they do require you to either have or not have the Wild Wasteland trait. Now, you can't actually get both of these if you chose to take Wild Wasteland first, then go up and get the Alien Blaster, then head to Old World Blues and re-roll your traits and get something else other than Wild Wasteland. I believe you can also do it the other way around too, to where you can just go there, get the YCS 186 Gauss rifle, go to Old World Blues, talk to the auto doc, have him reset your traits, and then you can pick Wild Wasteland, and then I believe the Alien Blaster should be there once you get back to there. Either way, this can be found at the far north end of Vegas. This can be found, well, pretty much on your way over to Jacobstown a little bit. It's still out north. It's kind of more close to the Northern Passage where you go up to Zion, and you can find both these weapons there. If you have Wild Wasteland, then there will be 3 aliens that appear. These aliens include the captain and 2 other aliens. The captain just has a laser pistol, which is not that very scary, but then the other aliens do have tri-beam lasers, so it is kind of scary if you want to rush this one. It's the same thing if you want to rush the Gauss rifle, though. There's a group of mercenaries there. One of them does have the Gauss rifle. He will try to shoot you with it, so be sure to kill him first. The rest of the mercenaries shouldn't really have anything, but they could pick up the rifle if you don't manage to kill all of them at once. So be sure to kill them without being seen. Sneaking up on them and sniping them is generally the easiest way, and for both these weapons, I would say they're probably a 3 out of 5 in order to get. There is some danger, and there's also the fact that you do need a trait in order to get one of these, or a not trait in order to get the other one, but both these weapons are incredibly powerful. The Alien Blaster does do really high damage. It has a 100% crit chance, but it does have limited ammo. There is only a certain amount of alien power cells that you can get in Fallout New Vegas. This is about 220, 230-ish in total. I believe you could get a little bit more if you took the Scrounger perk. I could be wrong about that, but you might get a little bit more from that. Either way, once you use up all of your alien power cells, you can't really get any more in Fallout New Vegas, short of spawning them in. Still a very powerful weapon, and it puts down basically anything really quickly. It's also not a very difficult weapon to get so long as you can take out those other aliens pretty fast. And I mean, the tri-beam lasers are definitely worth getting. The Gauss rifle, on the other hand, is the hardest hitting energy weapon, at least per shot, out of any of the energy weapons. And it also has bonus crit chance. It also takes 1 reduced microfusion cell over the regular Gauss rifle, where that would usually take 5, this one just takes 4. Very powerful weapon. It's really good if you take like the meltdown perk with it. You can kill things from quite a ways away. It's pretty much the equivalent of the anti-material rifle, but for energy weapons. Our second weapon is the Euclid Sea Finder. I hope I'm saying that right, because I always get this one messed up. The Sea Finder. It's the Hammer of Dawn weapon, where you just call down the laser and it blows up stuff. Very cool weapon. I would say this one's probably a 5 out of 5 in terms of difficulty to get, though, because this one, the weapon itself is not actually that difficult to get, but to get it working, you do have to do things in a certain order, and if you've already completed a certain quest, you may not be able to even use this weapon. So the Sea Finder can actually be found in Freeside. There is a kid that's running around that has this, and you'll need to buy it off of him or steal it off of him. If you have high enough barter, though, and which isn't a really high barter check, I believe it's 50, you can get this reduced by quite a bit. It's usually 1,000, but you can knock it down to 200 if you have that. Either way, it's actually not that much for a weapon like this. This was actually the weapon that Elijah really wanted to have, and this is why he wanted to hold on to Helios 1 so well. It was supposed to be an old world, basically, you know, wonder weapon. Funny enough, you can actually even see a body in Freeside that had a collar wrapped around it where their head was exploded. This is never actually said that this was Elijah, but he did put that on somebody to try to get this Sea Finder so that they could actually have it, and that's where the kid found it. Kind of a cool little detail there with this. This weapon you also need to do a quest for, though, too. You need to do That Old Sun, which can be done at Helios 1, and then you also have to rewrite power to the Archimedes charge. If you don't do that, then you can't use this as a weapon. It's pretty much just a paperweight at that point. If you do that, then you get 1 shot per day that has to be used outside, and it can't be too far away either. There is a rendering distance on this, but then you can smite down your enemies with a laser from the sky. A really cool weapon overall, really fun. Not really all that practical. It's kind of funny if you put God mode on, though, because at least then you can spam it out multiple times, and it makes getting footage for this a whole lot easier than it would be to just wait 24 hours so that you could do it again. There's also some other bugs, like there's a bug to get it to work in-game even without like turning on God mode or anything, so that you can use it multiple times throughout the day. Next up, we got the Compliance Regulator. This is one of the unique laser pistols. This one is found in Honest Hearts, and I would say this one's probably a 3 out of 5 to get. This one's actually not too difficult to get. You have to go into Fallen Rock Cave. This is on your way to the Dead Horses camp, so this is on the way to Joshua's place. You just go inside there. This place is rigged with a bunch of traps though, so be careful about that. There's some mines, there's some tripwires, things like that. At the very end of this, you'll find a box with the Compliance Regulator stuck inside of it. Then you can just fish this out of there. The Compliance Regulator is actually a pretty decent weapon though, because it does have more utility than a lot of other weapons. It also has no requirements to it either, so if you want to use it, you absolutely can. But the main effect that it has is on crit hit, you paralyze an enemy for 10 seconds. And since it's a laser pistol, it does get bonus crits. It's even better if you want to be stacking crit related perks too, or if you just have really high luck, or both. Like if you stack Light Touch with Finesse and then also Laser Commander, this thing does stun enemies pretty consistently. And you don't really need to be loading in the best ammo into this either. You can kind of load in whatever, and for an energy weapon, it actually has decent item health. It also has different colored lasers too. Rather than firing the red lasers, this one fires out blue lasers. As for an actual weapon, it's not really that strong. It's actually weaker than a regular laser pistol, but you're not really using it for that. You're using it to stun something, knock it on the ground, and then swap over to a weapon that you can put down that enemy with. So a very cool weapon. Our next weapon is Pew Pew, the other unique laser pistol. This one is pretty cool. So this one, I'm going to give a 5 out of 5 in terms of difficulty to get, because you do need to complete another quest in order to get this one. In order to do this, you're going to have to complete the Sunset Sarsaparilla quest, which requires you to get 50 star bottle caps. You can get these just by going around and finding them around the map. Certain characters you can also potentially buy these from. Certain characters you could steal these from. You can steal them from Malcolm and the 2 idiots that are fighting out in front of Nipton. You can get their star caps if you would like. And then there's a whole bunch laying out. As well as every time that you drink Sunset Sarsaparilla, there's a chance that you also get a star cap. It's not a high chance, but there is a chance. Once you've collected 50 of these, take them over to Festus and then exchange them. And then if you question him some more, he will say that your prize is actually locked in the back. Make your way through the factory and through the door that would be open then. Otherwise, this door can't be opened unless you clip through it. And then you'll find a body in there that actually has Pew Pew sitting next to it. Pick up Pew Pew and then you've got a very powerful weapon. This one does a lot of damage per shot. It's one of the strongest handguns per shot out of any handgun in the game. It also has a high crit chance too, and it does have pretty decent item HP. This one is a 2-shot weapon though. You only get 2 shots with it, and it consumes 5 cells each time that you shoot it, so you will be potentially running through energy cells a bit faster than the other laser pistols, but it does do a lot of damage. It also has different beams as well. This one has orange beams rather than the red beams that the other laser pistols have. Up next, we got the pulse gun, which I would also say is a 5 out of 5 in terms to get. The pulse gun, there is actually only one of these, although if you have an older version of New Vegas, there could actually be multiple, because sometimes people would actually sell this. This one shows up in Vault 34. This is in the Armory. This is the same place that All American is. But there's even more added steps to this, because Vault 34 does take quite a while to go through, and it can be a fairly dangerous place since it's full of ghouls, and it has a decent amount of radiation, as well as you got golden geckos on the front of it and actually just outside of it. So you're gonna have to fight your way through pretty much all of this stuff, or I guess be extra sneaky and actually go past all of them. Once you've unlocked everything in Vault 34, which does take quite a while since you have to like flush the water out, open up different computers, go into the Overseer's office, get into the bottom of there, get the key so that you can actually go and head back into the Armory. Once you've done all that, then you actually get down to the Armory, and it's full of weapons. Like I said, All American is down there, one of the best assault rifles in the game. There's also always things like sniper rifles, grenade launchers, and a riot shotgun that's down there, very good weapons. But there's also a box that's located down there that has a very hard lock on it. And that's where you get the pulse gun, meaning that you're going to need either 100 lockpicking, a way to cheat out 100 lockpicking, or you're going to need the key for this. If you want to get the key, then you have to go up to Nellis, the place where the boomers are, go into Pearl's barracks, and steal the key. The key can be found in a filing cabinet there. So if you have the key, then you can unlock this chest, but you're still going to have to go all the way through this. Vault 34 is where the boomers originally were before they headed up to Nellis Air Force Base and took that place over. So they left quite a few things behind. And the pulse gun is one of those. And the pulse gun is pretty interesting because it doesn't really do that much damage unless you're shooting against robots or power armor, where then it hits like a truck. So that's really good. Still takes a small energy cells. This one consumes 5 ammo every shot, but you do get 5 shots with it. And it does take a second for it to go off. It takes like almost a second for it to charge up and then shoot. Pretty strong weapon if you're specifically fighting robots. The main problem is there's not really that many robots in New Vegas, so this one does kind of have limited use. It has a little bit more use if you want to take this Old World Blues, where then you can actually shoot the Robo Scorpions, or if you want to take on the Brotherhood, it's a little bit better then. Next up is the MF Hyperbreeder. This is the unique recharger pistol. This one is added with the Gunner's Arsenal DLC, and it's just one that you buy. This one I would say is a 2 out of 5. You just have to go to Novak and you can buy this one from Cliff. It's kind of expensive, but it is a really cool energy pistol, where this one holds half as many rounds as a regular recharger pistol, where that can usually hold 20. This one holds 10, but it is fully automatic, and it does do good damage and really good damage per second, as well as has a really high crit chance for a fully automatic weapon like this. This one doesn't count as a laser weapon though, so if you want to get like Laser Commander, that's still a really good perk for energy weapons, but for some reason it doesn't affect the recharger guns even though they shoot lasers. It's kind of a weird oversight. And then our very last unique pistol is the Sonic Emitter, which there's actually 5 different Sonic Emitters depending on which one you want to swap it out to. But the Sonic Emitter itself, I would say, is a 1 out of 5 in terms of hard to get, because you're guaranteed to get this as soon as you go to Old World Blues. Go there, talk to the think tank, and they will give you the Sonic Emitter. You need this to actually continue the quest there, and then you can upgrade this at the jukebox whenever you get his personality actually put into there, and then for any of the extra holotapes that you find to change this. So you can swap this over to Gabriel's Bark, Opera Singer, Revelations is the default, you have Robo Scorpion, and you have Tarantula, each of these kind of giving their own pros and cons. Moving over to the rifles, our first rifle, besides the Gauss rifle, is the Holorifle. The Holorifle, I would also say, is a 1 out of 5 in terms of difficulty to get, because you get this one as soon as you go to Dead Money. It's the first thing that Elijah gives you. And this gun is really good. It's a lot of people's favorite energy rifle, and for a pretty good reason. It does do good damage, pretty decent damage per second. It always has a scope on there, holds 4 shots, and it's a pump action rifle, I guess, grenade launcher rifle thing that shoots out different energy than necessarily like the Gauss rounds or like the laser rounds. Kind of counts as its own thing. And since it counts its own thing, you can't actually fix up the Holorifle normally. You would need weapon repair kits to fix it up. You can't use jury rigging. Nothing counts with the Holorifle. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Although it is also bugged to where if you get the durability buff on this one, the mod that you can put on it, it actually kind of breaks the Holorifle and makes it so it has unlimited health because it can never degrade from that point. So once you put that on there and throw all the weapon repair kits in it to make it fully fixed, it should never degrade from that point. Unless you have mods that fix that, which I do. But either way, the Holorifle is really powerful. The mods that it gets are really good. Very strong weapon. You can run this all the way through Dead Money if you'd like, and you can run it definitely outside of Dead Money. I know plenty of people love to rush Dead Money just to get the Holorifle. Up next, we have Elijah's Advanced LAER. This is the unique LAER in Old World Blues. And for some reason, this is one of the few like unique weapons that's kind of worse than the regular version. I don't know why that is, but it just is. You can actually find 2 of these in Old World Blues, so it is kind of a unique weapon, I guess. You can either get this at the little Yangsty camp that's just laying up against the building once you go there, the tower. Climb up there, that's where Elijah was hiding, and that's where him and Christina decided to have a fight between her sniper rifle and this one. You can also get her sniper there. And then the other one is at Elijah's Overlook, which you can just go there and pick it up. It's also where he has his unique Tesla cannon, so you can get multiple unique weapons at either of these locations. The LAER is one of the strongest energy weapons in the game, I would say. It is extremely fragile though, and Elijah's is even more fragile than a regular one, meaning that it's kind of just worse because aside from that, its stats are almost exactly the same. It does hold 5 less rounds, but it basically just has worse item HP. There's no real reason to do this when you could just buy an LAER from the sync itself. Going back to the Mojave for our last 2 energy weapons, we have the unique laser rifle first. You get this one in Vault 22. This is the vault that has all of the spore people and the spore plants inside of it. This one is found at the very bottom of that place. So you have to go all the way down to level 5. You can do this by either just going through each floor down the stairs, and then there's also like a hole in the wall that kind of leads back up to the 5th floor. Then you can go from the 5th floor up to the 4th floor stairs, and then inside there's going to be like 2 mantises, and there's a skeleton that actually has this laser rifle next to them. You can then pick it up and you get your laser rifle. For an overall rating, I would say this one's a 3 out of 5 in terms of difficulty to get. It's generally not that difficult, and if you have high enough repair, you can just immediately go into the vault, fix up the elevator, drop it down to the 5th floor, go up to the 4th floor, and then pick it up right away. It's really simple then. But this is another case where it's a unique weapon that's actually kind of worse than the regular version. And that's mostly because like the laser rifle, the standard laser rifle is actually bugged and it gets a whole lot better thanks to the mods. Either way, this one still does pretty good damage and has an above average crit chance, which is nice. It does consume 2 ammo for every shot as opposed to 1 though. So even though it holds 24, it's still consuming 2 shots, so you get 12 shots out of this. This one also shoots out different beams too, where it shoots out green beams. An interesting option, but like I said, if you want a better option, you could go with a laser rifle and you put the beam splitter on it, because the beam splitter is also bugged to where it's supposed to give you a second beam that gives like 30% more damage or something. It doesn't do that. It just bugs out and gives you 2 beams that are at 100% damage, so you just doubled your damage with the laser rifle. That is really, really good. And then our very last unique weapon for this list is the Q35 Matter Modulator. This one is the unique plasma rifle, where this one you can actually get within like the first couple minutes of the game. For difficulty, I would say this one's like a 2 out of 5 to get, because this way is like right on your way if you want to do the shortcut to Vegas. So in order to do this, you can just head right up through Sloan, head across Black Mountain a little bit, cut around the outside and then go down the backside of it, and then you should end up right outside the RepCon facility. This is where you can find the Q35. And the Q35, you don't actually need anything else to get it. You could potentially lockpick or hack your way into the room and make it much faster, but if you don't have 100 lockpicking or 100 science, you don't need to do that, because you could just talk to the robots. You can actually go to the back part, go on a tour, and then get like the employee key, make your way through, and then just head up through each of the floors up to the 3rd floor. With interacting with all the robots, you don't really have to worry about this. If you go about it this way, then you can actually drop down from the 3rd floor all the way down to the 1st floor, and you'll end up in the room with the Q35. If you do have 100 lockpicking or 100 science, you could just break right in and grab this weapon, but you probably won't have that if you're rushing this right away, right out of Good Springs. And this is a really, really powerful weapon. This one is also a little bit different. It's kind of the opposite of the laser rifle we just talked about, where that one takes 2 ammo every time. This one only takes 1 ammo, so unlike a regular plasma gun, it is more ammo efficient. It also has extremely low requirements, really good damage, an above average crit chance, high crit damage on top of that, low action point cost, low spread, and really high item HP, which is really good for an energy weapon. Like, all of those make it so the Q35 is one of the best guns in the game for an energy weapon build, and it's super easy to get. And that does it for all the unique energy weapons. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the unarmed weapons, since we haven't done that, and then we're going to be combining these all into one really big list, so if you're looking for any of the unique weapons, you should be able to find it there. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. Tell me your favorite unique weapons here. I technically didn't include the Van Graff's weapons or the missing laser pistol, but those are hardly unique weapons. Either way, thank you guys so very much for watching this. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody!